So every year, over 1 million patients would be hospitalized with severe heart failure. In such patients, they will retain a lot of fluid, what we call fluid overload, which will lead to swelling or edema. They will need treatment with intravenous diuretics, which is the current approach to manage these patients. Intravenous diuretics, however, will fail in up to a third of these patients, and it will often lead to complications such as kidney failure and hearing loss. We've spoken to clinicians treating these patients, and 80% of them tell us they are very dissatisfied with this current approach to managing the problem, which is why at Renephra, we've looked at approaching it differently. We know from physiology that fluid in such patients will accumulate not in the blood compartment, but in the tissue fluid or interstitial fluid compartment. So 80% of the accumulated fluid will be located just underneath the skin, which supports Renephra's approach to managing this problem. In the past couple of years, we've run clinical studies in over 100 patients with fluid overload at Manchester Royal Infirmary. And these studies have proven that this approach to treating fluid overload is safe, is painless, and more importantly, we've removed over 400 ml of fluid in certain patients, and they have reported symptomatic relief.
So Renephra is the University of Manchester and Central Manchester University Hospital spin-out. The company is developing a novel method for removing excess fluid from the body that is gentler, with fewer complications, and that enables treatment at home with a self-administered device. And that is very important because it reduces the need for hospitalization, improves convenience for patients, and reduces costs of treatment. The device uses microneedles to create microchannels in the upper layers of the skin to access the fluid and negative pressure to remove it.
It is worth noting that we're not aware of anybody approaching this problem in a similar way to us. There have been attempts to use diuretics in a different way. For instance, using intravenous diuretics in the community or administering them subcutaneously. While this might reduce the hospitalization duration, it does not change the fundamental flaw of diuretics, which leads to complications such as kidney failure or heart failure. Moreover, it will not be self-administered as Renephra proposes for its device. We're aware of a device called Aquadex, which came out a few years ago, aiming to remove fluid in a way akin to dialysis. Trials showed this not to be any superior to diuretics, and it led to even more complications. So uptake by clinicians has been very poor.
The Renephra business model shows commercial revenues derived from making and selling a novel medical device to healthcare providers in the UK and worldwide. The company will commercialize its product in the UK, initially through building its own sales and distribution network. Early sales will come from partnering clinical centres in Manchester and Sheffield. Wider adoption will be supported through post-CE mark clinical studies at the top heart failure clinics worldwide. Once the market traction is demonstrated, licensing a device to a major global medical device company will provide additional revenue streams. I'm the Renephra CEO. I have medical background and have held senior commercial roles within pharmaceutical industry. Most recently, I've been supporting new medical device companies. Mr. Alistair Taylor is Renephra chairman. He's got decades in leadership roles in blue-chip medical device companies. He's led an IPO, a growth to $1 billion, and disposal of Biocompatibles International plc, who is the world's first coated coronary stents company. Duncan Keeble is Renephra Chief Operating Officer. He's worked in medical device industry for 20 years, primarily leading the design and development of implantable medical devices. Dr. Mitra and Dr. Eba are Renephra scientific and clinical advisors, leading the award-winning research underpinning Renephra device. The lead investor in this round is Catapult Ventures, an independent UK venture capital fund manager with over £130 million funds under management and with a significant experience investing in life sciences. The co-investor in this round are Deep Bridge Capital, who is a venture capital company specializing with working with innovative life sciences entrepreneurs to build successful growth companies. So the funds raised in this round will enable Renephra to design and develop its transdermal fluid removal device and to obtain regulatory approvals in Europe, which is CE mark. The 65% of the funds will be used on product design, development, testing and regulatory submissions. The 17% of the funds will be used to continue clinical research in Manchester and Sheffield to optimize the technology and to gather clinical data to support device development and regulatory submissions. The remaining 18% of the funds will be used on business development and marketing to build strategic relationships with key opinion leaders, early adopters, industry and distributors. Trade sale is the most likely exit for Renephra due to a large number of acquisitive and cash-rich players looking for novel technologies in cardiovascular and the wider medical device space. So our initial discussions with some global medical device companies indicate there is an interest in the business opportunity Renephra is addressing. Based on medical device mergers and acquisition trends, we anticipate that regulatory approved medical device with efficacy data and demonstrated market traction 2 to 3 years post CE mark will be the optimal first exit point for Renephra.